If you've been feeling exhausted, bloated, inflamed, or just off, and no one can tell you why, then today's episode is for you. And I'm sharing the first step that I recommend to anybody who wants real answers about their symptoms, a metabolic breakthrough session. And it's a mini session. It's 1 hour long, it's simple, eye-opening, and it was the turning point in my own health journey. So stay tuned. Hey friend, welcome to Gut Fix. Are you ready to finally get rid of those debilitating digestive symptoms? Do you catch yourself staying up late Googling things like, what can I eat? Or how do I stop a flare? Or maybe you're just lying awake wondering, how did this ever happen to me? I'm Wendy, and I've been exactly where you are, desperately searching for answers, but determined to find natural solutions. And like you, I was overwhelmed by all the conflicting information out there and unsure of what might really work for me. And so now in this podcast, I'm here to share with you what I've learned, how to listen to your body's signals, and uncover the common mistakes that might be standing in the way of your healing. So grab your favorite drink, pop in your earbuds, and let's dive into your health transformation together. Hey there, friends. Welcome back to Gut Fix, where we talk about real strategies to restore your energy, support your digestion, and help you to feel yourself again. And today I want to share something that can be an absolute game changer. If you're feeling, tired, fatigued, inflamed, confused by all your symptoms, or like maybe you've even just hit a brick wall with the traditional approaches. And we're talking about something that I call a metabolic breakthrough session. And more importantly, why this is the smartest first step that you can take when your body is sending signals that something ain't right and something's out of balance. And yes, I'm going to tell you a little story about how this kind of deep dive approach saved my own health when nothing else was making any sense. So here's the thing that I see over and over and over again. Most people, number one, they don't know where to begin. They are feeling exhausted, their gut's unpredictable, they're feeling inflamed or something that is off, they're feeling stressed, and stress can be a multitude of things. It isn't just emotional stress, although that is a component and a big component. It's also environmental stressors, it's also physical stressors. And, maybe they're feeling foggy, they're not sleeping right, or maybe it's all of the above. And when they tend to go to their doctor, they're told, your labs look normal. You're probably just stressed. Try eating more fiber. Or in my case, I was told, try drinking more water, even though I was drinking well over half of my body weight in water. Or you hear the everything looks fine. And you get the feeling that they're saying but not saying, it's all in your head. And meanwhile, you're sitting there thinking to yourself, okay, but I don't feel fine. And here's the truth that not enough people hear is that number one, your symptoms are data. They're telling you a story. They're trying to scream out to you that something is not right. It's trying to tell you something. And when you feel off, it means that something truly is off, even if the tests don't catch it and even if you look fine on paper. But most conventional visits, they last maybe 7 minutes, 10 if you're lucky. And when you go to a conventional doctor, that only lasts that long, there's no time to look at any patterns. There's no time for you to explain your history. There's no time to understand how all of your symptoms are connected. And that's why so many people end up frustrated, confused, and in a lot of cases end up feeling very defeated. I know I did. And so let me share that quick piece of my own journey, because if you've been here for a while, you know that I'm very transparent about where I've been. And it's over about 17 years ago now, when I was first diagnosed with ulcerative colitis. I was in great shape. I was running marathons. I was eating what I thought was, a really good, healthy diet. I was checking all the boxes that you're supposed to check, right? But my body was screaming at me. And going to a conventional doctor, every one of my labs came back normal. And yet what I was feeling was truly anything but normal. And, conventional doctors, they did their best, truly, because they have a very short window of time and they're trained to combat the symptoms. And so they were truly doing what they were taught to do and what they know to do. But they also look through a very narrow lens. They look at blood work, then they look for medications, and they look to suppress your symptoms. No one once ever asked me about my history, about my lifestyle. No one looked at the patterns. No one asked about my stress levels, my sleep, what I was eating, any kind of past exposures that I might have had. And certainly nobody was looking at how all of this fit together. And it wasn't until I started working with a functional practitioner who did a very deep dive into my health, the way that I now do for my clients, that things finally started to make sense to me. And I started to realize why I was having these symptoms. And we discovered things that, conventional medicine never would have looked at because they were really truly outside of the standard checklist that they have. And again, not knocking conventional medicine at all. There's truly a time and a place for it. It's just with these chronic symptoms or chronic diseases, if you will, they don't look at how they started or how you could correct them. They don't look at any kind of food sensitivity. They don't look at gut imbalances or your stress patterns or maybe what you're missing in your nutrients. Or God forbid your lifestyle factors that were, quietly just adding fuel to your fire. So when we pulled back and looked at the whole picture, then everything truly started to click for me. And guess what? That's when I finally got my life back. My energy started shifting. My gut started to calm down. I started feeling human again, and I really started to feel hopeful again. And I realized that this is the way that I want to help people. Not guessing, not slapping a Band-Aid on symptoms or throwing a medication or even a supplement, because that's really just medicating with natural supplements, right? But truly understanding what's going on. And so that brings me to the Mini Metabolic Breakthrough Session. And why start here? Well, because this is where we can sit down, we can actually do the thing that makes the biggest difference. Because we're going to look at you. We're not going to look at just symptoms. We're going to look at your patterns, not just your labs. We're going to look at your history, your lifestyle, your stress load, your digestion, your sleep, everything that plays into how you feel every day. And this is not a 10-minute appointment. There's not going to be any generic advice in there. This is not, what I got, the drink more water session. This is about getting some clarity. It's about what is really truly going on underneath your hood. And yes, there may be some things like drinking more water, getting more sleep and things like that, but it's tailored to you. And so here's what you're going to get inside the session. The first thing is that you're going to fill out what we call at FDN, the Metabolic Chaos Scorecard. And it's one of my favorite tools because it shows you in black and white which systems in your body are out of balance. And that tells us where we really need to go in testing. So it's going to look at your gut. It looks at your hormones. It looks at your detox pathways. It looks at your immune response and how well your immune system is functioning. And it looks at your energy production. And then you get to actually see the patterns that explain your symptoms. And then second thing you're going to do is fill out a medical and lifestyle deep dive form. This is where we look at your history, but in a very meaningful way, not like a checklist history, right? And we look at how everything connects and how these dots are connected. And people always say when they do these, and they actually, even just this beginning portion, they say, wow, nobody has ever asked me this before. Even though sometimes it can be at first a little overwhelming to answer these questions, but it's really getting into the deep dive. And then the third thing is you're going to get a personalized action plan. And no, I'm not going to throw 20 things at you or a whole lifestyle that you have to change. you'll walk away with 3 to maybe 5 targeted steps that you can start making right away and feel better right away. And this session is designed to give you clarity, direction, and a sense of, okay, I finally know what's going on. And so that's why I created this metabolic mini breakthrough session, as I'm calling it, because it's a way to start for you to get some quick wins that is not an intensive, 6-month program, 4 to 6 month program. That can be added on later, but this is going to give you a real starting place that you can start to feel real results. So if you've been feeling like, your symptoms, they don't make any sense, or you're trying to get your energy back, but everything you try, nothing is working, or you're kind of just sick and tired of guessing your way through the whole process, then the Metabolic Breakthrough Session is a very powerful place to begin because it's simple, it's personalized, it's very, very eye-opening, and it gives you the first clear step forward. So if you want to grab a session, I'll put the link in the show notes below, but you can always go to go.wendyhandy.com/breakthrough. That's go.wendyhandy.com/breakthrough. Or like I said, I'll put it in the show notes below. And there are only a handful of spots each month, so that I can give you the time and the focus that you deserve on your health. And if you're ready to be, if you have friends, if you have somebody that you think might benefit from one of these, share the episode or share the link that they can go and book a session and finally start looking under the hood and finding out, why do I feel the way I feel? So friends, I want you to take care of your gut. I want you to take care of your energy and, finally find out what's going on and get some real answers that you can tangibly take steps towards feeling better today. So thanks for listening. And until next time, stay happy and stay healthy. Hey friend, I hope today's episode brought you some real value. If it did, would you take just 30 seconds to share it with a friend who might be struggling to get her gut in check? And if you're feeling extra generous, leave me a review on Apple. It absolutely lights me up knowing that this podcast is making a difference for you. All right, it's time for me to grab my protein shake and get my gut happy. I'll see you back here next Tuesday for another episode of Gut Fix. And until then, stay happy and stay healthy.